All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is good old Reverend Ordo, also known as Mandalore the Sarcastic. We're here on streamguard.com/.com. So, okay, I want to play a video here. It'll be in audio form. And it's gonna be in audio. I got a tripod to put it on. So this is from the channel Ones That Can See.
We've got ones that can see, and that would be everybody listening to this channel. I need to talk about the Stargate project because they're starting to let more and more information out about what they're doing, but they also want to dupe the public into thinking it's one thing versus what it really is. And of course, this is a tactic that they always have to use. People are afraid, people don't understand. So they give you a little bit of an understanding without specifically telling you what they're doing. But I will show you specifically what they are doing. And before I get into that, everybody out there, please make sure, if you haven't yet, subscribe to my other channel, Sheeple Syndrome. I just created this channel, as most of you know. I have lost quite a few in the last 30 days, so I have to build out Sheeple Syndrome. And everybody who's come over to this channel, you're the type of subscribers who have listened to my warnings about channels being deleted, who want my content. So definitely make sure you subscribe now. It's linked below. Don't miss this chance. We have to build that channel out and continue to make channels in order to avoid being completely wiped off this platform. Because if I don't have channels built out ahead of time, then nobody's going to be able to find me. So there's many people out there who are looking for my channel, many people who are sub to some other ones, which I won't say the names for the algorithm's sake, who no longer can find my content because they didn't heed my warnings. This channel should be safe for a month or two, but in the meantime, let's build out the other channels and have them ready to go. So it is Sheeple Syndrome. It's linked below. You guys know the routine, so please head on over there. I'll put up some, whatever you want to call it, type of content, entertaining content. It's not really, but I'll put up some content over there, build it out, and I need everybody's help. So please do me that favor now if you haven't yet. I'd really, really appreciate it. So the Stargate project is getting more and more traction. People are trying to figure out what exactly it is. So you could, of course, rely on conservative controlled news like Fox News to bring the goons out like Larry Ellison and Sam Altman to talk about what the Stargate project is, knowing that the majority of people out there don't understand AI, but they're being told that AI is already a big part of their lives because now they're linking in Google searches and other things that people rely on the internet and saying, well, AI is really doing that. As most of you have noticed, Google searches now give you AI as the top answer, right? You get an AI overview instead of the top page that usually comes up when you do a Google search. So now people are being conditioned to, oh, well, it's like the Google search. It's not really that big of a deal, but it is a big deal. And Larry Ellis.
What it says here, warning, they just said that the Stargate project promised under the skin surveillance health care. Massive AI Stargate project under Trump administration reveals next step. OpenAI says each one GW supercomputer campus in the United States could create thousands of jobs.
In here is talking about how the healthcare system is going to be affected. You might remember Larry Ellison on day one of Donald Trump taking over, talking about those personalized, custom mRNA vaccines to cure cancer. And the majority of people went, whoa, they're talking about vaccine. Oh boy. But of course, all it takes right after that is Donald Trump to come out and say men will play men's sport, women will play women's sports. For those people to forget about it. For those people to say, he's pushing that again. I thought he was over all that stuff with Operation Warp Speed. And they continue to put these little traps in place to get people's attention away from what they're actually doing, which is building out AI governance, which is the structure of the New World Order, which is everything, again, that they discuss at the World Economic Forum, the United Nations. This is the Tower of Babel rebuilt through artificial intelligence. So they want to explain what this means for healthcare, right? Because one of the transitions will be to healthcare. And what he says is that, well, what's going to happen is, you go to the doctor's office, everyone's like, yeah. And, they go through their folders and they see the stuff that after I show you these clips. So here he is trying to convince people it's not a bad thing. It's just an extra set of ears on the conversation. And then again, the doctor can go to AI and that's all it is, right? So the sheep will hear that. And what do they say? They go, oh, okay. Well, it doesn't hurt to have a second opinion, right? Doesn't hurt to have an extra set with me, right? And then he goes on to talk again about curing cancer and how these customized gene editing vaccines can cure cancer. Nobody out there seems to understand. When they're talking about gene editing, they're editing your DNA, which is unique to you, right? Again, true crimes are the best way for me to explain it. These crimes that you constantly see solved by what? DNA. They could find the person. They could pinpoint the one individual, even if they weren't a suspect, based on his blood being at the crime scene, based on his DNA being there, because he has his own specific DNA. They want to alter that specific DNA.
Crazy, huh?
And this is everything to do with man and machine becoming one.
Come on.
Here's Fox News trying to comfort and get conservatives to accept what they're doing with Project Stargate and the AI healthcare system.
Larry, you talked about what can come out of this as far as healthcare and other things. People are starting to get their head around AI, but not fully. Well, when you go to the hospital these days, if you're using a modern system, using a modern system, the doctor will get a little note written by AI.
This is Larry Ellison, Oracle founder and chairman.
And then that note will have your latest lab tests and your and before, so the doctor is prepared when they meet with the patient. The AI will actually listen to the conversation between the doctor and the patient and make recommendations and improve the likelihood that the patient is going to get a high quality of care. It's easier for the doctor. It's better outcomes for the patient. It's really a revolution in medicine, but it's a revolution in many other industries as well. Medicine just touches us all. Larry, why on this day one do you think you decided to do this? I assume you've been working on it for a long time. We have been working on it for a long time. The first data centers are actually under construction in Texas already, and we'll be turning them over to Sam to start training their next model. The data center we already built, it was the largest computer ever built. The data center we're building will very big, surpass it, and be the largest computer ever built, which enables this AI, which will allow personalized medicine. This is going to touch all of us. Yes, it takes a huge investment, but the result of the investment will be vaccines that prevent cancers, personalized medicine, where we never again run into a problem like COVID-19 before, because we had an early warning. We know when COVID starts, when there are a handful of patients, rather than having to wait until it's become an epidemic and very difficult to control. This is a very large investment that affects all of humanity. Can I ask the three of you just really quickly to get a sense of where you see the economy? There seems to be this optimism, or like the yoke is being released as far as regulation and business to flourish. Is that fair? Is that a fair assessment? How do you see it?
I think so. This is the beginning of golden age. So again, the majority of people only heard what you heard in the first clip and aren't able to grasp anything.
Larry Ellis and Stargate AI will shatter the tyranny of impossible.
That this is going to change healthcare. That's just to ease you.
Last warning: if you don't get your $25,000 final expense benefit today, you risk missing out on one of the largest senior.
To accept it. But eventually, what you'll find
I hate ads.
Is that in addition to these personalized vaccines, which will edit your DNA and change what you are and change who you are, as they told us over and over again, he mentioned early warning signs, right? He said things like, well, because of what happened with COVID, early warning signs this time around with AI will be able to detect this and we'll be able to stop the spread. So you sit there and you think, so well, how would it be able to detect it? Well, they're talking about detecting it because they will be under your skin. If you didn't notice, when they were pushing COVID, they were pushing under the skin surveillance, taking your.
Now, this is kind of like 1984 teeth. This is like a huge 1984 with huge fucking teeth, man. They're wanting to surveil you by putting things under your skin as you're like a you're a hunted animal. Bag and tag, then release. Bag and tag release. They want a bag and tag, and that's it. It's just really because when they tag you, they're surveilling you under your skin. So it's it's here. About it's under the skin surveillance as what they want to do. And OpenAI said that there's going to be campuses that would offer in a supercomputer going to offer jobs, which I doubt that shit because it's all about surveilling the population, and really insane.
Temperature everywhere you went. making you contact trace. Remember that? With your phones, who you're near, telling you who's by you, who might have been in contact with somebody who had it before. And then you might have to quarantine because you went to Chuck E. Cheese and somebody at Chuck E. Cheese brushed a shoulder with somebody who might have been affected, and so on and so forth. This under the skin surveillance spread and became normal, and standing 6 feet apart, etc. I'm going to play for you these clips that explain exactly what they're doing with AI healthcare. This goes back to Yuval Harari. It goes back to the World Economic Forum. Them telling you openly. Imagine if Stalin, imagine if these people were able to be under your skin. They can detect diseases, sure, but how about being able to detect emotions? How about being able to detect through the television how you're feeling when you're hearing certain news reported? It's about monitoring and full-on surveillance of every single thing that's going on under your skin. How do you think that this stuff is going to happen without artificial intelligence? They'll ease you in by saying that AI could save lives. A doctor misdiagnosed someone, but thankfully AI was in the room. And the AI recorded the whole conversation and gave its own analysis, which was different.
AI will never help you.
Guess what? The AI detected something that the human doctor didn't. And because of the AI, this person had their life saved. They would have died in a few weeks because they were misdiagnosed. But AI doesn't misdiagnoses, right? People say, that's great. That's wonderful. They'll keep hearing propaganda like that. And eventually they'll start bringing up what Larry just brought up and talking about, hey,
that's like AI using facial recognition. It's like AI using facial recognition and shit, And just really there was a case of a guy, he got arrested because AI thought he was the guy. He was the guy that lived blocks and blocks away, several blocks away, like in another part of the state or the country. And AI said he's the guy. Turned out he wasn't the guy, but yet they wanted to charge the guy with something that he didn't do. So AI ain't perfect,
We can prevent having lockdowns and quarantines and all this other stuff if AI has access underneath your skin, because you'll be able to do all these things that you could do with the Fitbit, just more. You'll be able to track not just your heart rate and your steps. We'll be able to track your white blood cell count, your red blood cell count, any pathogens that might be in your body, any cancer that could be in there. This will be able to detect it for you by having your own personal doctor inside of your body. And that's ultimately what they're getting at when they talk about AI healthcare, is that AI is
really
inside of you, changing your genetic code and what it means to be a human. This is called under the skin surveillance, and they're not hiding it.
COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. If we want to stop this epidemic, we need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under the skin. Their body temperature. Like we walked in here, we had to go through a body temperature test. I think maybe in a couple of decades, when people look back, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. And this was the moment when everything became monitored. That we agreed to be surveyed all in authoritarian regimes, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly at all, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin. The biometric sensor. It's the... Are you angry about what you hear? Are you frightened? Are you bored? This is the kind of power that Stalin didn't have. You know, when Stalin gave a speech, everybody, of course, clapped their hand and smiled. Now, how do you know what they really think about Stalin? It's very difficult.
And you know that when people hear this, they're like thinking, they're clapping and smiling. In reality, nobody's clapping or smiling. They're like, this is 1984 with fucking teeth. With fucking teeth, you know. And fuck, man. This is 1984 with teeth. And fucking claws. Yay, my long, man, you know. Holy shit.
You can't have a KGB agent following everybody all the time. Even if you do it, he's just watching your outside behavior. He doesn't really know what's happening in your mind. But in 10 years, the future Stalins of the 21st century, they could be watching the minds, the brains of all the population all the time. And also they will have the computing power to analyze all that. You know, it's not just having an agent following everybody all the time. The agent in Stalin's days writes a paper report, and you have these millions of paper reports piling up in Moscow. Somebody needs to read them, to analyze them. That's impossible. Now you don't need human agents. You don't need human analyzers. You just have a lot of sensors and an AI which analyzes it, and that's it. You have the worst totalitarian regime in history. And COVID is important because COVID legitimizes some of the crucial steps, even in democratic countries.
The really big thing is hacking human beings. To hack human beings, you need a lot of biological knowledge, a lot of computing power, and especially a lot of data. If you have enough data about me and enough computing power and biological knowledge, you can hack my body, my brain, my life. You can reach a point when you know me better than I know myself. And once you reach that point, and we are very close to that point, then democracy, the free market as we have, and actually all political systems, also authoritarian regimes, we have no idea what happens once you pass that point. Now, in the past, many tyrants
this is
do it, but no.
That is
Nobody understood biology well enough. And
Dr.
nobody
Yuval
had
Noah
enough computing power
Harari
data
is a transhumanist
to
and top
hack
advisor
millions of people.
to Klaus Schwab
Neither
and
the
the World
Gestapo
Economic
nor the
Forum.
KGB could do it. But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people. We humans should get used to the idea that we are no longer mysterious souls. We are now hackable animals. Data might enable
Bag and tag
humans to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it. And if indeed we succeed in hacking and engineering life, this will be not just the greatest revolution in the history of humanity. This will be the greatest revolution in biology since the very beginning of life 4 billion years ago. For 4 billion years, nothing fundamental changed in the basic rules of the game of life. All of life, for 4 billion years, dinosaurs, amoebas, tomatoes, humans, all of life was subject to the laws of natural selection and to the laws of
basically what he's saying is they're wanting to put our DNA, our consciousness in a computer. Pretty much, by surveilling, giving these shots under the skin, that's basically bag and tagging, man. It's like you're an animal, bag and tag, there you go. But they're doing the whole tagging under the skin while giving you a shot, right? So this is just insane. It's about transhumanism. Basically wants you to become a cyborg without being a cyborg. All this shit, all this AI shit, it's going to make humanity obsolete in the near future. And that's going to scare a lot of people. Lots of people. And it will make humanity obsolete in the near future. And this is what the guys talking about, is making people obsolete. You're an animal being tagged by another. You're a human being tracked by another human like an animal, bag and tagging your ass, man. And they're going to use healthcare as a cloud, as a mind clouder to get that shot in your arm, get the shot under your skin to track you, maybe even hack you. Like you said, you need biological knowledge, computing power, and all that shit. So,
organic biochemistry. But this is now about to change. Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud. These are the new driving forces of evolution. And at the same time, science may enable life. After being confined for 4 billion years to the limited realm of organic compounds, science may enable life to break out into the inorganic realm. So after 4 billion years of organic life shaped by natural selection, we are entering the era of inorganic life shaped by intelligent design. So does the data about my DNA, my brain, my body, my life, does it belong to me, or to some corporation, or to the government, or perhaps to the human collective? Humans are now hackable animals. The whole idea that humans have, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will. That's over. Free will, that's over. That's over. Today,
he's saying free will's over.
Technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. Yeah, everything is being digitalized. Everything is being monitored. In this time of crisis, you have to follow science. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste, because a crisis is an opportunity to also do good reforms that in normal times people will never agree to. But in a crisis, you see, we have no chance. So
he's saying we need a crisis to create saying we need a crisis. We cannot waste a crisis to end your free will. No, that's what he's saying. The guy worked for Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab is a head of BlackRock. He's the head of BlackRock. He's saying, he talks about controlling behavior. How you do that? You create chaos. You create say you got these elites that want to create a chaos and pretend, oh, we're going to take care of this. Even though we started it, we're going to pretend to fix it. How you do that? Deny you your free will.
Let's do it.
Vaccine won't help us go
The
to the
vaccine
test, of course.
will help us, of course. It will make things, more manageable. Surveillance. People could look back in 100 years and identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin, which I think is maybe the most important development of the 21st century, is this ability to hack human beings, to go under the skin, collect biometric data, analyze it, and understand people better than they understand themselves. This, I believe, is maybe the most important event of the 21st century.
One of the features of this fourth industrial revolution is that it doesn't change what we are doing, but it changes us. The difference of this fourth industrial revolution is it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take genetic editing, just as an example, it's you who are changed. And of course, this has a big impact on your identity.
And offer certain kinds of possibilities that have to be careful about. When you began to do that kind of
Klaus Schwab needs to watch his ass. That's what he needs to do.
That's the problem. And of course, the new industrial revolution offers us many opportunities, but it raises manifold questions on the ethical, but even legal implications. And we have to be prepared for it, and that's what we want to do in Davos next year. So this fourth industrial revolution is, it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take genetic editing, just as an example, it's you who are changed.
Everything went digital, right? Right out of his own mouth, Yuval Harari. I discussed how that was part of the transition of everything that happened. People don't even realize that people gave up going and seeing their family members for holidays. Not that those are do-all, end-all. That's how much control the government had over people's minds, telling them they couldn't leave their home. Grandma's dying, can't go see her at the hospital. You're too much of a risk. You're not allowed in there. They won't let you in. But you can FaceTime with grandma. And people were angry for 5 minutes. Then they FaceTime. Then they did it again and again and again for months and months on end. And they got so conditioned into doing it that now, years later, the majority of people are doing FaceTime calls instead of actually going and seeing people, imprisoning themselves in their home, right? No different than a prisoner who gets a visitor that comes to see them in jail. And what do they get to do? Well, they can't hug them. They can't touch them. They can see them through a wall, right? No different than with your phone. Again, turning your home into a prison, turning your life into this digital prison hell that they have planned. And they ultimately want to get under your skin. This is about under the skin surveillance. And people will be more likely once they hear stories about cancer being detected early
Trump
stages,
and TikTok,
being cured,
Trump and TikTok coons
personalized
stoke
vaccines,
health AI
they will
hype
give
with
in.
Stargate.
Because cancer, the purpose that it served as far as psychologically over the last 20 years is that the difference between it and COVID, let's just say, is that a lot of people didn't believe COVID existed, right? A lot of people didn't take what the government was feeding them. So some people were skeptical, saying, I'm not going to get it just based on that, not because they were just anti-getting a vax. Well, with cancer, everybody knows somebody who's had cancer. Everybody knows somebody who's been affected by cancer, right? This is something that we can look at and say, well, it's a real thing. Now, of course, nobody asks why cancer exists, even though it should be easy to figure out when you look at the soft metals that they dump on us and dump in our food, right? But people will be more likely and fearful of actually getting cancer. And of course, we could all look at the misdiagnoses that humans give to these patients when they actually have tumors, et cetera, so that they end up on chemo and so on and so forth. Well, many of these people don't even have it in the first place. But this is about getting under the skin. It's under the skin surveillance. And that's what people need to understand is coming, okay? This Stargate project they're easing you into, they know that 0% of the population understand what it is. They have a vague understanding, which is why they want you to think it is something like a Google search, where, hey, I'm looking up the best, ingredients for a recipe, and AI overview is giving me the answer, right? So now they're getting AI in your head where you're saying, well, yeah, the AI overview is better than even looking at the articles out there, right? And then they say, well, AI is just analyzing all the stuff that's showing up in the search and giving you the best possible answer. And that's how they condition you, right? So then they say you're going to the doctor. AI is just listening. And these people go, well, what's the big deal? I mean, they're filming me at Walmart when I'm checking out. So let AI listen. I'm not hiding anything. And they say, hey, you know what? I'm sure you'll hear this over and over again, right? Second opinion. Right? We've got that fed to us all the time, right? That saying of, oh, you went to the doctor said this, get a second opinion if you don't like what the doctor said, right? Okay. Well, guess what? You won't have to leave and go to another doctor for a second opinion. Most people can't get a second opinion, right? Because their health insurance only allows them to go see one doctor. So then they'll say, wow, I can have a second opinion for free at the same time? Yeah, it'll be AI. And then from there, as they get comfortable and AI starts to become their friend and they tell you how AI detected something that the human couldn't, people go, wow, that's really great. And they go, yeah, it's really great. And they go, we could do even better. You know how the Fitbit does this and it tracks this and does that? Yeah. Well, if we actually have the ability to get under your skin, and it's not some neurological procedure, we could just, get under your skin by just giving you a shot, and then inside your body, we'll be able to detect everything beforehand. You won't have to worry about even going to the hospital anymore. And they put the propaganda out about lives being saved and how the early detection and, this stopped an outbreak from occurring, and everybody will eat it up because all it takes is conditioning through time, right? Good enough propaganda where they use enough words that make people scared and then they feel comfortable with AI and all the stuff I said that'll happen beforehand. How AI will save lives through giving doctors information that they couldn't find on their own. And then they'll say, it's like my own personalized doctor that's under my skin, right? And it'll be editing what's under your skin and monitoring what's under your skin. And as Yuval and all these psychopaths openly said, under the skin surveillance. That's what they're attempting with biometrics. And they have the technology in place.
Yeah.
It's in place. It's ready to go. In fact, some people already have this under their skin without realizing. Of course, we all know that. A lot of people already have the surveillance, but a lot of people also don't have it.
Stargate could lead to AI models that are smaller and faster.
Under their skin. But there's a large portion of the population that also does not have this monitoring and surveilling under their skin, even though I know a lot of you believe that via the nanotech and the smart dust that they have the ability to do this
smart
already.
Dust particles.
But they don't have a direct pathway into your bloodstream without you allowing them to shoot it into your bloodstream. And eventually they're going to do everything they can to force you to give into this under the skin surveillance. So the technology is here. It's just a matter of conditioning. That's what this is all about. That's what all the things that they do is about. It's about conditioning you into accepting. The longer you hear it, the more you're just eventually going to go, whatever. Desensitize, condition over and over. Then start removing other options. Oh, well, now there's a shortage of doctors. But thankfully, that AI healthcare that was listening in the last time you went to the doctor, they know all your info. You could just press a button on your phone and contact your AI doctor. And little by little, that's how it'll go, right? There'll be a shortage of doctors. There'll be, just like, the air traffic control, a perfect example to compare it to, right?
It's a human version of
air traffic controllers
air.
All of a sudden, all over America. Who knew, right? All of a sudden,
the under the skin surveillance is equivalent to air traffic control for the human body. They already got you tagged, back and tagged. They just released your ass, and all of a sudden, hey, well, that shit. It was a holy shit moment, man. Like, what the fuck, the whole thing here is about surveillance under the skin. Stargate technology and AI to be put under your skin, where you are surveilled 24/7, 365 for the rest of your life. And it is known as 1984 with teeth and 5 eyes on you. And also under your skin. This is just a crazy thing. I know that I have a good feeling here. And I go thought here that YouTube, if you violate their misinformation policy or their medical misinformation policy, you get a strike, can't do shit for a week. If you get another strike again, that's 2 weeks, can't do shit. But a third strike, your channel is fucking gone. So, because you violated their medical misinformation about, but this has nothing to do with, well, it does partially have to do with medical, but the thing is, Stargate AI surveillance, they're using healthcare as a smokescreen to inject you with a shot. Basically, it's a tag under your skin. It's surveillance because they're using it as backup, since we're all turning off the location. Let's put it under the skin. Back and tag these little bastards and know what they're going and what they're eating, other bullshit. What was this? Yeah. There goes your free will, folks. There goes your free will. And this is just absolutely nuts. Bang and tag your ass. Bang and tag your ass. That's what they want to do. Meaning you are hackable. All they need is bio knowledge, computing power, and the rest is history. And the rest of the story. You go. It is science fiction come alive, folks. It's not Science Theater 3000. It is actual reality happening. It's no illusion. It's all. Klaus Schwab is the 21st century Hitler, but bald and no mustache. Just one ugly bald guy from Germany. So, yeah. Just, So you guys can follow me here on youtube.com/anonymous Manawati Sec, youtube.com/anonymous Manawati Network, rumble.com/Council of Generation X, rumble.com/RevanOro76. And I am Revan Ordo, and this has been the Anonymous Manawati Sec here live on StreamYard through YouTube. And just hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. And this is insane, folks. This is heavy. I mean, like really heavy with teeth. So if you guys are new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell for notification. And seriously, always live healthy, happy, and wise. I love you guys. Godspeed. Buddha bless. Trips.